As darkness envelops the land, Halloween stirs was a haunting legacy rooted in ancient fear, originating from the Celtic festival of Samhain. This night marked the thinning veil between the living and the dead, allowing malevolent spirits to wander freely. Our ancestors lit bonfires and offered sacrifices to ward off these demons, fearing their wrath and mischief. What began as a desperate ritual to appease lurking horrors has transformed into a night of revelry. Yet, as we don costumes and carve jack-o'-lanterns, we unknowingly invite the very darkness our forebears sought to escape, a chilling reminder that the supernatural still whispers in the shadows. Halloween, a night when the boundary between the living and the dead grows thin, and the ordinary world transforms into a realm of shadows. Costumed figures roam the streets, but behind these playful disguises lies a deeper, darker tale, a story rooted in ancient rites and restless spirits. Long before it became a night of candy and mischief, Halloween was born from the fires of Samhain, the Celtic festival where the veil to the other world was at its most fragile, a time when spirits walked among us and offerings were left to keep them at bay. This was only the beginning. Roman gods, Christian saints, and medieval superstitions all left their mark, turning Halloween into a patchwork of beliefs, a holiday of evolving fears. We'll unravel how these traditions survived, adapted, and morphed across centuries, becoming the night of haunting that we know today, from its pagan roots to its modern form. Halloween is more than a night of tricks and treats. It's a ritual that echoes with the whispers of the past. Prepare to explore the haunted history of Halloween, where the old world and new meet under the same moonlit sky. Saying a word spoken softly, almost swallowed by the wind, yet it carries the weight of centuries. For the ancient Celts, saying was more than the end of the harvest. It was the end of light itself. As October gave way to November, the days grew shorter, the nights longer, and the world seemed to pause, caught between life and death. It was in the stillness, at the edge of winter, that Saint opened a door to the unknown. This was a liminal time, a threshold where the veil between the mortal world and the other world was at its thinnest. On this night, the spirits of the dead could walk among the living. Ghosts and ghouls, once confined to distant memory, became immediate and real. The Celts believed these spirits were not mere specters. They were ancestors, guardians, and sometimes vengeful entities, seeking something from those still breathing, to ward off these roaming souls or to win their favor. The people lit massive bonfires, their flames a signal to both the living and the dead. From communion with the dead to pumpkins and pranks, from creepiest makeup to horrifying costumes, Halloween is a patchwork holiday stitched together with cultural, religious, and occult traditions that span centuries. It all began with the Celts, a people whose culture had spread across Europe more than 2,000 years ago. October 31st was the day they celebrated the end of the harvest season in a festival called Samhain. That night also marked the Celtic New Year and was considered a time between years, a magical time when the ghost of the dead walked the earth. It was a time when the veil between death and life was supposed to be at its thinnest. On Samhain, the villagers gathered and lit huge bonfires to drive the dead back to the spirit world and keep them away from the living. But as the Catholic Church's influence grew in Europe, it frowned on the pagan rituals like Samhain. In the 7th century, the Vatican began to merge it with a church-sanctioned holiday, so November 1st was designated All Saints' Day to honor martyrs and the deceased faithful. Both of these holidays had to do with the afterlife and about survival after death. It was a calculated move on the part of the church to bring more people into the fold. All Saints' Day was known then as Hallow Mass. Hallow means holy or saintly, so the translation is roughly Mass of the Saints. The night before, October 31st, was All Hallows' Eve, which gradually morphed into Halloween. The holiday came to America with a wave of Irish immigrants during the potato famine of the 1842. They brought several of their holiday customs with them, including bobbing for apples and playing tricks on neighbors, like removing gates from the front of houses. The young pranksters wore masks so they wouldn't be recognized. But over the years, the tradition of harmless tricks grew into outright vandalism. Back in the 1930s, it really became a dangerous holiday. I mean, there was such hooliganism and vandalism. Trick-or-treating was originally an extortion deal. Give us candy or we'll trash your house. Storekeepers and neighbors began giving treats or bribes to stop the tricks, and children were encouraged to travel door to door for treats as an alternative to troublemaking. By the late 30s, trick-or-treat became the holiday greeting. Halloween is an extremely celebratory time for Wiccans. Present-day Wiccans still celebrate the Celtic festival of Samhain in honor of the pagan practice of Samhain. Wiccans will burn huge bonfires and other traditional fire ceremonies to celebrations that embrace many aspects of modern Halloween, as well as activities related to honoring nature or ancestors. In this way, Wiccans are honoring and celebrating the spirit world. In addition to Wiccans, the Church of Satan has declared that any person who dresses up for Halloween is the same as worshipping the devil. The founder of the Church of Satan, Anton Lavey, has made the scary statement, "I am glad that Christian parents let their children worship the devil at least one night out of the year. Welcome to Halloween." In other words, according to the Church of Satan, participating in Halloween is celebrating Satan and evil. The majority of the world celebrates Halloween with different traditions and practices. The believer can celebrate Halloween in good conscience if they are aware that the holiday is simply a fun time to dress up, give out candy, and spend time with friends and families. There is nothing wrong with participating in Halloween just to have wholesome fun. However, if a person feels under conviction by the Holy Spirit to not partake in Halloween, that is okay too. Each person has to know their own temptations and struggles. God does not want any of His children to celebrate evil nor to become involved in the occult.